Our NQ or MNQ recap. It's been a few days, so probably gonna have to do a whole week. I'm gonna say the 17th through today, the 23rd. That's what I'm gonna cover. So I'm gonna try to be quick since I have to cover so many days. So the 17th, damn man, look at this. This whole shit was crazy. I finally got it. I drew this a while ago, waiting for the break, but um, I'm gonna do like a overview of just covering all of this. And then for each of the days, I'm going to go in and identify any trading opportunities in my session. Took that. All right. So leading up to Tuesday, we had a massive run. Sweep that eventually took a shit ton of liquidity, then broke structure. So super bullish. After this high was taken though, now we have cleared that external range. Price pullback, obviously, which you can see here. On leading up to 9:30 on Tuesday, so a bunch of liquidity was created between during Asia and London. Sorry, I'm retarded. That's what I was trying to say. Then Tuesday comes, sweeps the liquidity. I'm gonna zoom in here because it actually swept sell side before it swept buy side. So price came, took out sell side, right? Hit a bunch of sell stops. Boom, buy side liquidity taken. Price came into this supply chain. I'm gonna skip the 4 hour. This here is enough information. So once this was taken and then this was taken, it's like okay, cool. There's still a bunch of IRL to the left that we can target, and the first step being um well being here, and then the next level here. Eventually took when did it take it though? It took it overnight on Tuesday. Yeah, I remember that because I was waiting for a sell here. This was such a massive quick drop that day, and they held it. They didn't give me the sell that I wanted, but but they did it. But but they did it later. All right, so Tuesday sweep of liquidity. Um, Asian London gets taken. Buy and sell taken. Price closes below this flip zone in here. On Wednesday, where's price action on Wednesday? So once again, a bunch of liquidity was created prior to New York open on Wednesday, right? We have buy side again created, sell side created, and just like it took buy side here and then took sell side here, you got it. It took buy side here and then all this sell side quitting here. Once again, tapping into the supply chain before shifting out and then eventually taking out the rest of internal range liquidity over here. Again, another massive drop. Like once it went, right? At least this one came back. I'm not gonna go over what news, what happened, shit like that. So Wednesday was you get a pop into supply, and then yeah, you get a sell, and hopefully target this. Yeah, because once it came down, there might have been a little bit of a buy in here. I need to be marking these out so I know where to look for entries. So I'm gonna look for sells in here. I'm going to look for somewhere in here. I'm gonna look for buys. Look for sells, sells. So break a structure, supply chain, supply keeps holding, demand keeps failing. Wednesday closed extremely bearish, and then it continued again overnight. Um, and it did so, eventually clearing this gap. Right, so now a bunch of trendline liquidity creates the downside. We still have a supply chain intact. This also eventually got swept, but before we get to there, we get to fill this gap in here. This is also a 4 hour, and then we get a shift to the upside. So I will be looking for buys in here. And then all of this shit happened again, little Asian range up into London, mitigation of a supply chain, very strong shift out. Then this eventually, um, after this super strong sell, price basically ranged until overnight. So now we have a bunch of liquidity to the top side. I'm gonna lot of buy stop mitigation of a flip slash gap fill shift in structure. Uh, Mitigation. Well, so wait, we're gonna look for buys in here. And that's really all we get. We can only get buys because then the rest was just a range created to get taken. Then Thursday, oh no, this was Thursday. Okay, so Thursday longs only. Friday, we get a run up. We're looking for sales, liquidity taken, supply chain mitigated. I will look to see because I do think there was a buy in here. The reason why I had this marked like this is because I was like, yo, this made a lower low candlestick wise, but volume wise, it made a higher high. So I kind of marked that. I considered that divergence. It did the same thing again today. You see it better on the 15-minute or the 5-minute. But once this low was taken, I was like, I don't know if price is gonna go further. Like it's very late. I could see it chopping around. So I actually will look for it long from here. With the thesis being we had a sweep, we got a very strong push. We made a secondary push, but I didn't get a body closure below this. So I was just paying a pullback into well, I really did think it was gonna take this. I thought it was gonna come into fair value gap. It did come into fair value area. Yep. So sells, buys. This was over the weekend. I guess what happened, man? America targeted, bombed Iranian nuclear sites or some shit like that. So there was a massive sell-off. Um, that sell-off swept this low. Well, swept this low here, and then Sunday overnight, huge rally. I didn't wasn't even looking at the charts. So then we get to here where just like on these days, we took buy side and then took sell side. Over here, I know it doesn't show it, but that's also a sweep of buy side retention wise, and then sell side taken. Over here, buy side taken, followed by a run on sell side. Let me show this real quick on the line chart. See how that was taken? And then, all right, now that sell side was taken here, they had to create some more buy side, and then they came and they took that with this wick in here. So we had another sweep. So then it's like, okay, buy side taken. We're gonna take sell side, mitigate, push, and then eventually again took buy side to then take sell side. This high also was weak because it did not take this out. Really, all it did was mitigate this humongous um demand on here. So it's just it's a game, man. It's a game of sweeping buy side and then sell side and vice versa. So I will be looking for where's 930? I don't know, somewhere in here I'll be looking for buys, somewhere in here I'll be looking for sells. And then when this slow goes, same like this, I'm gonna be looking for buys. I think I caught a sell today. I don't think I caught a buy. I was pissed because we were buying how quickly it was created. This was um Iran in response attacked or said they were going to attack Qatar. I think all the missiles got shot down. I don't think anything hit Qatar, but this this was a fucking crazy day to trade because of all that geopolitical bullshit going on. All right, let's jump down to the five. Look at these sells and these buys. Here's the 5 minute zoomed out. Let's take a look at that really quick check. You can see sell side, you can see buy side, you can see negation, you can see shift. Did we get anything in here? What time is 9:30? 9:30, 9:30, 9:30. Here's 9:30. Okay, wait. This buy here, because I only marked the sell off, was I think this was news. Either way, it took a low, could not close below it. Um, Immediately gave a two candle rejection. I think I did catch this. I think I had done like 50% of the candle. This 5 minute push and got in here. No, I think I missed this one. And then this candle, I measured 50% and I got in here. That's the trade I took. This other one I didn't take. Um, so that was an opportunity to the long side right after the morning. I'm gonna look at this really quick because moves like this, that sweep on the 1 minute, if I can get a fair value gap on the way up or something like that after the sweep, it'll help me get in hopefully somewhere closer to the wick instead of having to try to chase it up. All right. What this did this so yeah, fair value gap again, right? And just one of those things where this here was a two candle rejection on the 1 minute. It's a beautiful engulfing bar slash railroad on the volume profile. Liquidity, bunch of liquidity was just taken with this purge, and then 2 CR with the fair value gap. That's a trade all day long. And then so this is what happened. I had measured 50% of this, and that was the trade I took. So that was another entry in there. And then possibly still got one more fair value gap to the way up. So on the 1 minute, how'd you want to play this 1 minute extreme? Also a viable entry. I didn't take that one. I took this. Price kind of dicked around for a bit, and then what happened? It didn't take that. Let me get off of this 1 minute. So to the south side, the entry on here was, if you can't see it yet, you will now. Boom. Look how beautiful that is. So we have price coming to this high after taking out double tops, and then the beautiful shift to the downside. So because I'm already taking the sell side, buy side liquidity, I've tapped into a higher time frame supply chain, and then I have shifted out. The entry on that would be on either one, this 2CR here, excuse me, this 2CR here. You can see this. So that was a beautiful move. Woo. After it came here, entry two, once this closed, you can what was it? Because this one wasn't as clean on the volume, but then this very next bar. So the chalk is here. Boom, boom. It didn't really come into here. So yeah, the only reason to have still played this as a 2CR is because price had just done that on the line chart. So this is just the right shoulder of that shift there. Continuation trade here, right? Good another 2CR. You see it on the volume as well. I think I took a sell in here, and it was quick. I think as soon as this candle closed, I entered, and then I TP'd before this. That's what I was aiming for. Next entry would have been once price came into here, then it gave a 2CR. See the volume as well. Get in at the close of that candle. And then if you're still not in and this candle closes, then you're trying to catch it at fair value area. But that would have been a much quicker stop. Still might have played out though. We'll say this, give it some space. Cover this high. 32 points, that's not too bad. You can get 1 to 2 out of that, even if you cover the weight. Could get 1 to 2. Cool. And then this would have, anything in here would have just been, all right, price is moving. I'm throwing limit orders at wicks, trying to catch little really quick 1 to 2 scalps. And then this shifted here, chocked here. So what entry was this? This had to have been a 1 minute entry. I must have saw something here. I'm not even gonna go into it. The major plays for this were catching along in here, waiting for the shift and catching a sell in here, and then taking a stab at any continuation trades. This is what? So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, where's 9:30? All right, so sweep, two candle rejection. This did come into a fair value gap in here, but once again, I want to see this on the 1 minute because these are powerful. These little slingshots in here. I know it's aggressive, and I know before it was like not part of my trading plan, but it has slowly become part of my trading plan. So yeah, fair value gap. This one even gave a nice little shift. Like you just pop straight up, close, candle closed above the sweep of this. So once I get a bullish close, that's really it. I could have entered right off here. Um, could have entered 50% of this, which that kind of looks like 50% of this. Or once I got this fair value gap creating here, market market into that hope. This would have been hard to catch. Oh yeah, I remember this trade. I think I did catch this one. This one was boom, quite a few fair value gaps created in here. And then we had a low, come back into fair value gap, super strong push, another two candle rejection lined up with volume, and then breakaway gaps, or two back to back fair value gaps. Price comes into fair value area of this and it goes. So that was actually beautiful. That's why I like to look at the 1 and the 5. This is supply chain shit here. I think I broke even on this one. And did I take this? I took a fucking loss here. Yeah, I thought this was a sweep. And then I was like, yo, I think this is gonna come and take this. Yeah, I fucked up. So I actually bought there instead of selling there. Now, not selling there, I feel kind of retarded. Because I think I actually was in a sell before that and got hit at break even. All right, so there's the buys we're talking about. And then, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because that's 2 CR all day. And that's one of those instances you take 50% of the push, oops, and you just enter off the order block itself, or 50% of the push. And this did definitely go to R. It would not have broken even here unless I moved my stop loss too much. But that was also another entry to the downside. Like that would have potential, right? Because it comes and it sweeps all of this, and then it closes bearish like that. As soon as price comes back in this wick, that could have been another trade. Lastly, if this would once this closed like this, I think on the 1 minute that would have looked a lot better, but this is finally the candle that has a body closure below all this shit in here after a sweep. So yes, two candle rejection. You don't wait fucking market entry. That sucker. So there was a potential trade there as well for a continuation, and that would have looked something like that. I would have gave it a little bit because I don't know, market order. Does it go to our? It does. Then once again, what we have? I believe this is FOMC. Yeah. Yeah, this was FOMC. So we have buys there. We did not take this low. It came right into it, and then 2CR popped. I'm going to look at this on the 1 minute. Because again, if I my 2CRs had to have like engulfing volume, it has to have a railroad volume. So had I seen this, I don't know if I would have just pulled the plug on that. But if I got confirmation in the 1 minute to pull the plug, then that's different. And did we get that? I'm not gonna go over this day. This was Juneteenth. Another holiday. Another holiday. So yeah, this was definitely a trade. This in here actually would have been a nice scaling because once we had the supply chain going, right, then we had another sweep and then another break. This is really an extension of that supply chain. So anything inside of here is what this cell would have been or should have been. No, I don't know if I took that. I don't think I took that one. So this actually would have been a beautiful trade. And then let's look at this. Could I have gotten long here? Yep, because I see another gap there. And this is a beautiful, like on the line chart. That's a um should be a change of character because this low actually did get taken. I know it shows that it's equal here, but on the candlestick it actually took that. So this, let's say I would have market entered, I don't know, somewhere in here, covered these lows. Do we get to R? To break even at 1R? Get a massive push. That would have hit TP. All right, so this is exactly 2 o'clock. So I highly doubt I would have played this cell in here. And I'm gonna get off the 1 minute on this. All right, so FOMC, boom, boom, boom. This was the trade here because we came into the wick of this, right? Which just took a shit ton of liquidity. And then we immediately, like, again, this was higher. There was a sweep here on the candlestick chart. So as soon as this candle closes, again, market entry. This stop was a little bit bigger than I would have liked, but I mean, it definitely goes to our. There's an entry in there. And then it kind of just bounced around. It just consolidated. I tried taking a couple longs, but I didn't take them like at extremes. This one would have been fucking very nice to take at extreme. This one I probably would have taken a loss on. Um, but yeah, the trade that I took, I think was this one. I think I got tagged in here, got out here for break even. But this here would have been interesting just to play this week. See, so again, more of the story, man. A lot of times you get these moves and you just gotta hit the button. Gotta hit the button. I do want to see what this looks like on the one. Yeah, there are fair value gaps in there. Um, Also a change of character. Swept two highs, then chopped. So anywhere in here, had I covered this, I would have been safe. Again, hit the button. Just hit the button. You get to 1R, you can get break even. Nah, you just gotta let it play out. The other way to get in this would have been sharp turn. Um, Sharp turn, enter that fair value gap. But I personally would have liked to see this candle close below this low, confirming the change of character. And then once price pushed down, as soon as it comes back up into any of this, that's a sell. 2R on here as well. Getting out of the one again. But like I said, I'm not gonna go over Juneteenth. It I think that was a break even day. Everything was pretty much break even. The only trade to have taken would have been the same thing. We got a mitigation of the supply zone, I mean supply chain, and then we get a humongous two candle rejection. So gotta be quick. Just getting somewhere in this candle, cover this high. It definitely goes to our, and then after that push, price went sideways. And then usually after a holiday that ranged for the majority of the session, usually you get some type of crazy ass push the next day. Could be bearish, could be bullish. It all depends on higher time frame order flow. I will look into here to see if that's a 1 minute confirmed. Yo, press the button buy market. Oh well, sell market in this case. Yep. You get another sharp turn, you get fair value, change of character, bearish fair value gaps. Um, Really once this 2CR printed strong as it did on the 1R, I mean on the 1 minute, once price came back into any of this, that's just press the button, bro. You can afford to take this trade. Right? Because that would have been let's say I caught it late. Let's say I caught it somewhere in here, like this is drawn. So yeah, that's risking just 72.72 bucks on one contract. That's totally doable, right? 140 on two would have been nice. All right, whatever. I'm not fucking. It'll be double that. Two contracts. Da-da-da. I think yes, this was all chop slop, then pop. Created a shit ton of liquidity during this. This is an Asian range if I've ever seen one. It's a very strong push out the gate. The push took a high to the left and came back into a supply chain to the supply chain. And this was more of a three candle reversal, 3 bar reversal, because the huge shift in volume to the downside didn't happen until this third candle. Unfortunately, I didn't take this because I was waiting for a pullback. Um, I wanted something in here, one of these higher gaps, and I didn't get one. But again, had you just press the button, right? If I just push the button, this one more than 2 hour, right? But got to 2 hour relatively easy. And I will check in here to see if I see anything on the wall. Something that screams, hit the button, hit the button. Um, yeah, as soon as this gets flipped, right? Because you see the little head and shoulders, you see the shift, and as soon as these lows go, that's you're free to press the button, press the button. So I got a body closure on this candle. So yeah, this might have been a little bit more like this, but I mean that also was a pretty big stop. So I don't know if I would have taken that trade unless I did it the way I had it first drawn on the 5 minute. That was very aggressive. That was a huge um push out, push to the downside. And then from there it was just really continuation. This I took this, but it was only like 1.5. I didn't take um 2 on it because I didn't know if this low was gonna hold. And once I saw volume not breaking below this low, I was like, this is a huge 2CR, right? Massive 2CR. This is one of those where, okay, maybe, yeah, you don't trade this, right? Because of the stop loss size. However, when it comes back into this in here or this gap in here, then that could have been a sell. So Friday's price action was extremely bearish and then it kind of just rode. And again, this is after a holiday and a major like aftermarket move. So after this thing blew its low, then yeah, I can kind of see the shit just wanting to go sideways for the rest of the day. This had to have been something on the 1 minute though. Because if I would have played exactly there, I might not have got hit. Maybe fair value area. Use the bodies. That would have been a dreadful trade, though. You would have been in that for hours. Or I would have been in that for hours. 56. Not the best, but not too bad. And it doesn't get me to 2 hour before breaking even. Because I would have went to break even on this candle. Then it would have came and hit my break even. So the only other thing would have been to just play this as a change character. Like, yeah, this little shift in here. So when it comes back into here, hit it with a limit. Probably the only way to hit that. All right. Range. Da, da, da. War. Huge amount of buy stops hit here. So buy stop liquidity taken. Sell side got taken before New York, so London took it and then didn't take the opposing side, but then New York did clean run on the low, and then immediately after taking sell side, took buy side. That was a crazy close. I remember that. That was nuts. Oh man, that was looked a lot more than that. So this trade I didn't catch because I had tried doing the 50% thing and it didn't hit my 50%. But again, let's look at this on the one. Beautiful two candle rejection. As soon as this candle closed, bullish after sweeping this, that's just a buy. That's just a buy. Like disregard the five, run the one, hit the button. So that definitely went more than 2 hour. Then I did take this trade in here. I feel like an idiot because I only took a 2 hour off of it or whatever, but this was a mitigation, run on liquidity, draw on liquidity already happened, so then we get the shift. And this was like crazy talk, man. Shit was popping crazy today. Shit was nuts, man. All the news feeds that were coming in. But on the five, you can see very pretty shift, right? Sweep, chalk, came back into extreme, boom, flipped, and just died, right? It didn't even flip. It didn't take this and then really come back into anything. It kind of just took this low failed here, and it kind of just died and just fell out. Um, so this I took this here on a 2 CR and then went to break even, boom, got my break even hit. But when I was back in here, I had jumped in again and took just a small piece. Also, this was such a bullish move in the morning that I didn't know if this was gonna have any juice in it. So I was looking to originally I was only looking to try to trail this down to here. And I think what happens is on the 1 minute, I think I have moved my take profit, stop profit. I think I hit it a little earlier than I wanted. Next thing you know, once again, we have higher high on the bottom, but lower low on the actual candlesticks. Then we get a massive to kind of rejection. I did not take this. I think I tried 50% in this one as well. And my order just, it didn't get hit in here. Um, and then lastly, this was silly. I was just very hesitant. I'm not gonna front to take anything mainly because all the news that was surrounding today. Um, Iran had stated that they were gonna attack back, and shit was just nuts. Anyway, two kind of rejections. This did come back into this in here. Um, I guess this one would have been a good 50%, huh? Oh, that would have been close, but I don't know. But it came off of this candle in here, so whatever. Then from then on, it just consolidated. I wanted to see if it would sell off, give me a pushback into fair value again, but it didn't. After market close, shit popped again. I would look at this lastly on the 1 minute, see if there's any entries in here, and then call it a day. Yeah, I mean, beautiful 2CR. As soon as this thing closes, press the button, press the button. This is also change of character. Um, so once price came into this order block in here, take that. I think that was the issue. I think the stops were so fucking big too. But I mean, obviously it went too hard, right? Opportunity is opportunity. And then this was just pretty because it mitigated this demand chain in here. I mean, this demand level in here plus this fair value gap. So order block, fair value gap, pretty strong shit. Shift out here, change character. So there's a shift. We got a close above this. So first sign of weakness that these guys supply is gonna get taken out. And when price comes back into this order block in here, that's a buy. This stop loss was 53, much better than this. And yeah, jokes on me for not taking this. I feel like a complete idiot for not taking this one. Again, it was a lot of it had to do with news today, man. I promise I'm not fucking around. And this was such a massive drop that when price kind of started getting near some of this supply chain here, I was kind of like, oh, no. So I froze up. But I mean, that's as pretty as you get. And then at the mitigation, this looks very bullish. So maybe anywhere in here could have still the button covering this as a low. All right, that's all I got. That's all the entries. I showed them on the 5 minute, showed them on the 1 minute. And again, more than anything, just a game being played, the liquidity game. Let's take buy side to then take sell side. Let's take sell side to then take buy side. Did I get all my dots out? Yep. All right. I'm done. Peace. Oh, well, what I'm expecting now is now that this high got taken, some more liquidity get generated overnight, and then either we come into here and go, or um we come take this liquidity in here, mitigate something in here, and then push up. We'll see.